Alive and alert on the north side of the dirt. It is your man, D-Real, coming at you with another Be Real with D-Real, where edutainment is what I do. This, more than likely, is going to be one of those videos where I end up saying, make it make sense. There has been a lot of talk about Eve Ewing's Black Panther #2 over the last couple of days. I just want to chime in about an issue that I have had about it. There may be people that don't agree with my point of view. There may be people that understand crystal clear and still don't agree with my point of view. But my point of view is precisely that, my point of view. You can either choose to say, he's full of it, or he's got a point. Now, in Black Panther #2, Black Panther, T'Challa, has confronted a antagonist by the name of Beisa. If you couldn't tell from the costume that she was mimicking an antelope, I mean, I thought it was kind of obvious, at least to me. That's why as soon as I seen her, I called her Antelope Ninja Lady, because that's what she looks like. She looks like what she's dressed as, totally. And a killer set of abs. Yeah. Now, there's also this comparison being made that a lot of people don't like. Before I get to this comparison, let me have y'all do what y'all always do for me. Comment, like, subscribe, and share the Be Real with D-Real page so that when new material comes out, you get it. If you're digging what a brother's shoveling, comment, like, subscribe, and share. All of this. Okay, let's get to it. Now, in this comic, there is a moment when Beisa is caught creeping, sneaking, skulking, stalking to procure something. She procures that something and runs afoul of T'Challa on the rooftops. Her banter with T'Challa is playful. Her entire demeanor is not one of someone who wants to hurt T'Challa. If I'm being perfectly honest, I don't think Beisa wants to hurt anybody. But I think it's issue #2. Issue 1, she was talking tough, to the little lawyer fella. And in this issue, she kind of like posits that T'Challa is an imposter and not the real Black Panther, which I think is really going to come to a head when he's rocking the BT outfit alongside the Avengers. Whole bunch of people gonna realize that guy in Berlin T'Chaka is T'Challa. So, you know what? Another video for another day. I don't think nobody even thought about that. What kind of ramifications is it gonna have, him rocking the current Eve Ewing costume in Jed McKay's Avengers, and he's supposed to be hiding? He's supposed to be incognito? That's not the point. The point I'm getting at is this. People have made comparisons to a Batwoman, Catwoman romance tip sort of thing based on nothing more than a rooftop skirmish and playful banter. I think a lot of the frustration that people are feeling from this and about this is because I think deep down inside, some of the people who are being critical, myself included, is on the side of caution and not on the side of criticism, if that makes sense. I, more than anybody, want this to be a successful run. It can have whatever it wants to have in it. I'll just say, okay, that wasn't good. I didn't like that personally, but maybe that will fly for somebody else. I'm tired of getting in the way of other people's enjoyment. If you rock with what I rock with, cool. We rocking together. If you don't, you over there rocking, I'm over here rocking. I ain't stomping on your shine. I ain't pissing in your Cheerios. I ain't telling you north is south when and east is west when it's not. Do what you do. But I don't want nobody coming at me sideways. If you disagree, I get it. That's what opinions are. Differences in the thought process based on the stimulus that is put before us. You might not get the same stimulus I get when something's put before you. Kind of like those Rorschach blots, those ink blots. You know, what do you see when you see this? I see a butterfly. Oh, I see my mother-in-law. You know what I'm saying? So who are you to tell somebody that they're wrong for what they see? They see it, not you. So let's be a little more lenient when we coming at people talking about, oh, what you said or what you did or what you didn't or did do pissed me off. You could tell them, you can communicate that. It doesn't necessarily mean they're going to stop doing what they were or weren't doing. Then what you gonna do? You gonna keep saying what you saying. They gonna keep saying what they saying. So eventually, like I always like to say, in the fullness of time, we shall see who was right and who was wrong. Or, like they like to say on YouTube, we gonna see how well that video ages. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to print a retraction about some shit I said. You know, well, not print, but do a video retraction on some shit I said. Not necessarily a retraction, but a clarification, if that makes sense. Because I care that much about making sure me and my folks is on the same accord. Not bending to your will, but saying, you'll see in the retraction. How we gonna hate or be offended by the couple that has one of the longest romantic histories in all of comics, arguably? Look at that. Top 10 best hero-villain relationships. I don't know about Juggernaut and She-Hulk. And then I don't even think that was the real She-Hulk that he smashed. It was not a She-Hulk from this universe. It was a different one. Okay. 10 best? Okay, let's go. Supergirl and Lex Luthor. That's the one that wasn't even a real Kryptonian, I think. Like I said, stop. I don't like how She-Hulk's toes look in that picture. Rogue and Magneto at 8. Iron Man and Madame Mask. I actually liked that one. Cyclops and Emma Frost. Ow, I mentioned that, didn't I? Arsenal and Trek, and I mentioned that one too. Daredevil and Elektra. Oh, we getting low. Spider-Man and Black Cat. Ooh. Cyclops and Dark Phoenix. And that's a reach. Oh my goodness, looky there. Who's at number 1? Bruh. Yes, they are more alike than you think. They do have convoluted love lives. Just because Batman's a playboy and he been boning other chicks, that does not mean Selina Kyle did not get her swerve on. Okay, look here. What does it say? For her part, Selina has an equally narrow love life. She has two crucial love interests in the comics besides Batman: Slam Bradley and Undercover Cop. Ooh, she's in she a guy, boy. Your name Slam. You better be bringing it, bruh. And Iko Hasiwa, an heir to a Japanese crime family. She, at one point, has also had a brief affair with Nightwing, but less said about that, the better. Okay. Catwoman we all remember that fight between Bruce Wayne in his civilian clothes and Selina Kyle, aka the prostitute that kicks ass in Batman Year One. This even got immortalized in the animated movie. So, man, she once stole the Batmobile. I know that don't have nothing to do with romance, but my point being, bruh, they got a kid together, at least in some continuity. Why are we upset? You know what I'm saying? Is it a thing? We upset that Bruce Wayne and Selina Kyle are being compared to T'Challa and Beisa, or that there is no black iconic couple, superhero, supervillain, or anything to compare T'Challa and Beisa to? If that's the case, I can see that too, but doesn't necessarily mean I 100% agree. There have been rooftop skirmishes with Batman and Catwoman there's just crap tons of them. That's usually where they meet. They used to have sex on the roof. You know, it's depending on what continuity, because DC has so much, pre-crisis, post-crisis, New 52, Rebirth. I mean, it's a lot of different versions, so there's a lot of different history. But outside of Clark Kent and Lois Lane, I challenge you to name a more prominent couple in comics. A couple, well, you could probably name a more prominent couple, but the longevity where the sexual, the romantical, the ambiance between them. What are we talking about? 80 years? She was introduced in 1940. So that's been around a while. It's iconic. Okay? I can see people being offended because of the specifics of it. But I would wager to say Batman, Bruce Wayne, and Catwoman, Selina Kyle, are the epitome of hero, villain being romantically involved. Flash Gordon and Princess Aura. That's as far back as I can think of oh no, Buck Rogers. Buck Rogers, Princess Ardala. That's as far back as, and then that's the TV show. I don't even know if the Princess Ardala and Buck Rogers were romantically involved in the comic strip. But anyway, then I'm gonna go with and Dale Art Aura, excuse me, Flash and Aura. There might be more obscure characters. There might be a hero and a villain, or a villain and a woman that has some kind of romantic connection. But when I say a romance between a hero and a villain, it's got to come up. It has to. It's as common as, to me, name the original lineup of the Avengers. The comic, you should be able to rattle that off the top of your head. That's how often, I think more often than not, if you go to 10 people and tell them to name the top 3 hero and villain couples in all the comics, I guarantee Batman and Catwoman gonna be in that top 5 every time. Every time. What's my point? It's iconic. And I would even wager to say it's not a bad thing. And here's why. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I was 100% not going to make this a make it make sense video. But the more I sat down and researched and did, you can see why this is a make it make sense video, right? Right? Okay, long as it ain't just me. Unless that is something you don't want. To be compared to one of the greatest romances in all of comics, specifics notwithstanding, is a trope. Let's just be honest. That's a trope. It is. It's a trope that we don't want to see. We don't know what's going to happen. And we're not assuming that's going to happen. But at the same time, if you was thinking later on down the line, Eve Ewing, of pairing those two up romantically, I can't speak for the whole of fandom, but I can speak for me and say I would rather not see it. T'Challa does need to be in a romantic relationship, but there are already enough negative comparisons made to T'Challa and Batman. I believe Theo did a live yesterday, and he talked about how people are always comparing Batman and T'Challa. Oh, they're rich. Oh, they're both rich. Oh, they both had their parent die. Yeah, that kind of a thing. They got just as many differences as they do similarities. And to be perfectly honest, somebody's parents or parent getting killed in comics make up about 90% of all superheroes' origins. Just about. Batman, yep, had somebody die. Superman, yep, had somebody die. Spider-Man, yep, had somebody die. Daredevil, yep, had somebody die. Somebody has to die sometimes to further a story. It's a lazy plot device, but as you can see, it's one that's been used quite a bit. But getting back to Selina Kyle and Bruce Wayne, I personally do not feel, I guess it's the way people word it. I'm getting Batman, Catwoman vibes off of them. I can see how that will upset the more dedicated Black Panther fans, you know, and I myself thought if you were going to make a comparison, okay, let's do a primary check. I mean, for those of us that say, why would you even do that? What is Selina Kyle, aka Catwoman's primary weapon?
Looking for something? The other night, you killed somebody. As I was saying, I'm a woman and can't be taken for granted.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Is Beisa not using a whip like weapon? A guy in black fighting on a rooftop with a woman with a whip like weapon. Make it make sense. How would you not? How would you not? She's handcuffed and smiling. Man, if y'all want to be offended about the shit, be offended. But don't say the shit's inaccurate. Because it's not. And say that I get it because Batman and Catwoman or like I said, arguably the most recognizable hero villain romance. But there are plenty of hero villain romances that are more similar to Batman and Catwoman. While Peter Parker and Felicia Hardy is an exact duplicate of Batman and Catwoman, her romantic bent towards Peter Parker is more of a playful one. At least initially it was. It was more of a playful one. And Batman and Catwoman are kind of playful too, but Bruce Wayne ain't. You see what I'm getting at? There are better hero villain combinations to compare them to that would have been apropos. To just say Batman, Catwoman, I can see how a lot of people will be insulted by that. But I do not think the majority of people, you know what? Scratch that. I personally do not take offense to the Batman Selina Kyle comparison because I understand the context in which it's being made. You got playful banner on a roof. Catwoman is sometimes playful. Catwoman, cat and mouse, cat and bat, however you want to, that the chase. Selina she at least lately, she enjoys the chase. Even in the animated versions of Selina Kyle, it's about the chase and oh, you caught me, oh, you got me, and while she's romancing, Bruce Wayne, she gonna put the cuffs on and then get away again. That kind of a trope. It's a trope. But nonetheless, the similarities between Beisa and T'Challa and Catwoman and Batman are surface. They're surface and they are a reach at best. I will agree with that. But they are, I feel like it's warranted to some extent. I'm not going to sit here and say, if we're being literal, nah, no, it ain't. That's two Africans. That ain't two Caucasians. It's totally different. If I want to go that nitpicky, if I want to go that specific and say, oh, well, she's got on a white costume and Catwoman has a black costume. Accurate? Yeah. Also simplistic. I mean, a lot of times in comics, there are things that are more symbolic than they are literal. And I would even go so far as to say you could call it a syndrome, because there are other characters who have fallen into that trope. Matt Murdock and Electra Nachios, Cheshire and Roy Harper. There are characters that, okay, we got a romantic thing going on, but I'm a criminal and you're a good guy. So we got to do this on the low, because that kind of a thing. I hope that T'Challa and them don't get that involved in it, or that it doesn't become a trope at all. You know, at the end of this comic, T'Challa is in Beisa's apartment waiting on her to arrive, and after she gets all showered and relaxed and comfortable, he's in there like, oh, hey, you know, me and you got to discuss some stuff. And that's how it ends. There's nothing to say that will become a romance. There's nothing to imply that T'Challa wants to get at her. But again, the similarities, taking a kind-hearted slant towards this woman who actually takes things without permission. I'm not going to brand Beisa a thief. She might be taking something to get back at somebody or get some information. I'm not assuming she's a thief for gain's sake. She might be a thief out of necessity. So to say there aren't same kind of energy. If unless you just 100% got blinders on, you cannot say you don't see a similarity. They ain't 100% similar. No, the comparison ain't even 50% similar, if we're being honest. But there are similarities. You could give it Felicia Hardy, Peter Parker vibes. You know what I'm saying? Well, whatever offends you less. I understand they are T'Challa and Beisa. I understand that. But at the same time, to literally say, I'm offended by that comparison. Okay. But I mean, they've been around 80 years. And not literally comparing Batman and T'Challa and Beisa, and not literally giving them a side-by-side comparison is when I go, what do I want to eat for dinner? Do I want to eat chicken or do I want to eat fish? Well, both are really high in protein, but this one has omegas and antioxidants. Or do I go, do you want chicken or do you want fish? I'm feeling like some halibut tonight. It ain't that serious. You know what I'm saying? Yes, your health is serious, but if you're already on a path to good health, then you make those decisions based on your experiences. And my experience is I have seen Batman and Selina Kyle on rooftops being playful. In comic books, I've seen Julie Newmar and Adam West having romantic vibes. And that's 20 years after Selina Kyle and Bruce Wayne were introduced. I see Michelle Pfeiffer and Michael Keaton. So to get offended by something, I mean, I get just because something's been around a long time, that doesn't necessarily make it a good thing. But it has been profitable. And let's be honest, people ain't making comic books free. They got to get paid. And so if I'm an editor and I see, hey, that thing between Batman and Catwoman works well, let's go ahead and put that in here. And then after about 30, 40 years, somebody said, oh, let's work that same dynamic in with Peter Parker and Felicia Hardy. Oh, let's work that same dynamic in between Electra Nachios and Matt Murdock. Oh, let's work that same dynamic in between Emma Frost and Scott Summers. Oblique. It's a trope. If we don't like the trope, let's just say we don't like the trope. But to say I'm offended because you comparing it to the romance between a hero and a villain that arguably started the romance between a hero and a villain, and it has similar earmarks, is illogical to me. You know what I'm saying? And that's the truth, Ruth. I said it, and I ain't gonna back down on it. That's it for now, but fret not. I will be coming at you with another one of them other ones. And until I do, y'all be good and be good to each other.